friends. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I'm back again today with The Secret Place, Psalm 91, talking about Thomas Kelly and a testament of devotion. I always seem to go here when I want to talk about and I want to think about and I want to pray about what it means to get closer to the Lord and really walk deeply in his presence. Very short passage today from, if you have this book, it is on page 96. And Kelly is asking an important question of the reader, of all of us. I think it's one that we want to investigate a little bit. He says, do you want to live in such an amazing divine presence that life is transformed and transfigured and transmuted into peace and power and glory and miracle? Do you want to? If you do, then you can. But if you say you don't have the time to go down into the recreating silence, I can only say to you, then you don't really want to. You don't yet love God above all else in the world with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind and all your strength. For except for spells of sickness in the family and when the children are small, when terrific pressure comes upon us, we find time for what we really want to do. We do. If we are threatened with a tornado or a hurricane, we move. We find time to reckon with that, to go get the supplies, to hunker down. We can find time to do the things we know we need to do. I am a person, I tell you this, but I struggle with that too. Right to my left here, I'm in my little study with my piano. For about the past 5 decades of my life, I've wanted to play the piano. And every few years, I start to either take a lesson or I start to practice it. But I keep forgetting about it. I keep putting it down. I keep saying to myself and to others, I really, really want to play the piano. I think that if I really wanted to play it as much as I say that I want to, I would be playing it right now. I would be practicing every single day, and I don't. Other things are a priority. As much as I would like to play the piano, there are other priorities. And I think that that's what Kelly is talking about when he says, do you really want to know the active, beautiful, transforming presence of God in your life? Then there can't be an excuse like I don't have time to move into a deeper place of prayer. I don't have time to move into meditating on the scriptures. Now that, people, when we say that or think about that, automatically guilt or shame comes on someone who really does have a devotion to the Lord. They think, oh, the shame, I can't do it, I don't do it. And then there's another group of people who hear that and say, I'm not taking that on. And they just neither really listen. What Kelly is saying, which I think is so important, is that we can do this. We can do this. We don't have to make a big deal of it like, let me take an hour each day to get into like a quiet place of prayer and meditation and get really silent and go to those deep outer reaches. We don't need to do that. His presence is always with us, but we are reminded by his presence and we are walking actively in his presence with a sense of it as we remember him in it. A quiet, quick prayer, a little loving glance. We've talked about that before. A little loving glance towards the Lord, a praise, a song in our heart. All through the day, we can be calling upon the Lord without taking, a monk's dose of quiet time and silence, without going, committing ourselves to a day of silence or 4 hours of silence. And that's really helpful. I'm sure I haven't done that quite in a while. I haven't done a 4-hour stint in a while. But I'm probably due for a silent retreat. But it's that every day walking in his presence, wanting to walk in his presence. And I'll tell you a little secret. When I first started doing that, I said to the Lord, I didn't even know Thomas Kelly's work at that point, and I wouldn't have even heard that question yet. Like, if you really want to walk in God's presence in a deeper way, you'll spend that quiet time with him in the silence. No, I hadn't even quite heard that yet. But I remember saying to God, Lord, I worship you and I believe in you and I praise you and I'm grateful for you and I know I need you. But I don't think I love you. At least I know I don't think I love you the way the scriptures talk about loving and adoring you. I worship you for the things you've done, the great things you've done. I worship you for your kingdom, for your plan, for your purpose. But do I love you, Lord? I remember being 29 and crying that prayer. I think 2.5 decades went by before I ever admitted that to anybody, that I prayed that way. But I prayed in that very raw, kind of vulnerable, honest way before God. And you know how you can get before him, how you need to be before the Lord. I said, show me how to love you. It was through tears. It was hard to even admit that. But I said, God, please show me. Teach me thy way, O Lord. Teach me what it means to really love you. Obeying, I kind of got that going, like, we need to obey. Okay, I can obey. But what does it mean to love you with all my heart? What does it mean, Mark 12, verse 30, with all my heart, with all my soul, with everything in me? What does it mean to love you like that? And he began to show me. He began to show me that year. It was in the 80s, and he began to show me in the late 80s what it meant to love him. And you know how he taught me? He taught me by showing me first his love and pulling away the curtain, in a sense, in that deep inner place of spirit, of fellowship, in the secret place where we fellowship with God, that place that we can't point to within us. We don't know where it is. Where is it? But we fellowship with him. It's a place that's sacred and holy. It's our spirit, our inner spirit. And he began to peel away the layers and show me his love, not just for the world, God so loving the world, but his love for me. And it blew me away. And it did what I guess love does. It began to stir a love for him in my heart, so that my walk with God and my faith didn't just devolve into ticking the religious boxes and doing all the things that I should do right, but it really became something fervent. And that's why I like to bring Thomas Kelly to you too, because I'm a Bible reader from way back, memorizing the scripture, loving the scriptures, eating the word, but that doesn't do it alone, because the words, unfortunately, can become like straw in your mouth. They can become rote. And sometimes I know I have been helped by a little bit of stirring the spiritual pot inside of me by a great author, or a good brother, or a good sister. So I hope that encouraged you this morning. It's morning where I'm at. And I hope you'll write and share and maybe ask me a question or just engage a little bit. I'd love to chat with you. Thanks, friends, for coming. This has been Stephanie in The Secret Place. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye now.